What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Over the course of my years being an enthusiast, it's definitely safe to say I've ridden my fair share of wooden coasters, and as I'm sure some of you might agree, nothing beats a good old-fashioned wooden coaster. But the other day, I found myself looking into a potential trip back to Kings Island for the Beast, which is my personal favorite, which also happens to be the world's longest wooden coaster, which of course then got me wondering what other wooden record holders I was missing. That was a lot. Well, my research led me to one in Michigan, one that good friend Marc from CoasterDash recently rode, and it looks awesome. Opening in 1998, this thing is an absolute airtime machine and has a pretty cool history in its design as well as operational one. Not to mention, I've heard some pretty wild stories about it from you guys. So what is it, and where did it come from? This is the story of Michigan Adventure's Shivering Timbers. As I mentioned, opening in 1998, Shivering Timbers is a massive wooden roller coaster located at Michigan's Adventure in, well, Michigan, that was built and manufactured by Custom Coasters International. Custom Coasters International, aka CCI, was founded in 1991 by Dennis Stiglerich and Dennis McNulty, who both had a rather unique passion for wooden roller coasters. The two quickly gained recognition for this, and after creating the company, really began pushing the boundaries of what wooden coasters could do. Shivering Timbers, which has an impressive track length of 5,383 feet, stands as one of their most notable creations and to this day is the fourth longest wooden coaster in the world. This, on top of a height of 125 feet and speeds of up to 57 miles per hour, make the overall ride experience pretty freaking good, or so I've heard. But the construction of Shivering Timbers wasn't particularly easy. At first, CCI did what they had tried to do in the past, and that was use very primitive computer programs to try and develop the ride digitally. But after this failed due to the extremely large scale of the attraction, they had to try something else. Well, they did the obvious thing, and CCI then employed advanced computer-aided design techniques that made the process both faster and more efficient. And CCI had been big enough at this point that it was worth the investment to them. The following 16 roller coasters they'd make in the future, some of which are still actually operating today, were all better as a result of it. By the time this was done though, the coaster then began its construction, and by 1998, Shivering Timbers officially opened to the public at a cost of $4,500,000. And initially I will say it was pretty well received. The extreme ejector airtime it provided was a fairly new sensation for the time, and its length was unlike most others. But as with old woodies, it did get rough and start to lose popularity. So years later, Great Coasters International, not to be confused with Custom Coasters International, and Martin and Fleming's came in and retracked the entire thing. The most notable change, the Harry G. Traver inspired trick track element, was removed, but other than that, it mostly stayed the same. So how does it ride now? Well, as I mentioned in the intro, Marc from CoasterDash recently rode this thing, and he actually put a pretty cool blog out about it, so I thought, why not have him tell you guys? Marc?
If any of you happen to be the 40,000 people that have seen my vlog at Michigan's Adventure, you'll know that I've repeatedly used the word weird to describe Shivering Timbers. Due to what is likely poor maintenance on the park's behalf, the ride tracks in such a way that nearly feels like a car crash over and over again. The train slams down at the bottom of each valley and up at the top of each hill. But I'll tell you what, those airtime moments are absolutely some of the best you'll find on a wooden roller coaster. I don't recall a single element on Shivering Timbers being a dead spot. Obviously some hit harder than others, but it's overall a phenomenal ride. If you get the chance to visit Michigan's Adventure, don't pass it up because there is no other coaster I've ridden that can even be remotely compared to this one.
So there you have it. Take it from the dude who's ridden it himself. Maybe not the smoothest ride, but if you want some airtime, you know where to look. And also, this video goes out in honor of CCI, who closed their doors in 2002. Thanks for the awesome 34 coasters you guys created for all of us to enjoy. I've personally ridden a few myself, and I've loved every single one. In conclusion though, the story of Shivering Timbers at Michigan's Adventure is a pretty cool one, and I think the fact it's still operating is amazing. CCI really has an amazing history backing them, and I am 100% riding this thing before it eventually closes. Have you ridden Shivering Timbers or another coaster like it? Let Marc and I know down below. Guys, as always, it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you, and if you feel like it, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to support us. Like I've said in the past, that really is the best way to help us, so anything you could do there would be much appreciated. Of course, stay tuned for yet another video coming in a couple days as well though, and until then, thanks for all being here, and we'll see you all there. See ya!